Hi guys, Mr. Jaeger here, and welcome to IAE Expo Day 4. So today we are going to do the usual, and the same thing that we've done for the last few days, which is walk around the showcase and talk about various ships that I have either A, never seen, B, have limited knowledge on, or C, on the very rare occasions, I know of, and we will have my opinions on. So today is going to be a lot more industrial focus, which for me, personally speaking, I do prefer an industrialization. Back when I was playing EVE, I used to run as a transporter for mining and mined as well, so I do quite appreciate this kind of thing, and I do like logistical stuff just as much as I like fighting. So today's brands of choice, we've got a tiny amount of stuff going for Argo, which is, to my knowledge, I'm not very, to my extremely very limited knowledge, I've always figured Argo was planet-side style transportation vessels, small in nature, and not really capable of doing stuff, but because they're so cheap, you could literally see hundreds of these, or maybe even thousands, doing a job. Like, imagine shitloads of these at Amazon, basically. So, we're going to be having a bit of a look. This kind of environment, I would say this is my least knowledgeable part inside Star Citizen. This is the area that I've seen the least amount of stuff. I'm hoping this eventually will become quite a commonplace for me, because obviously as more and more of the game is developed, logistical things become more appealing than just the old bog standard combat system. So, without further ado, let's get started on Argo Industries, which two vessels that are available here. And also there's a third vessel, which is hopefully going to be available fairly soon, that will entice miners to work together. And I believe that, in fact, will have a quantum travel. I don't know much about these vessels, so feel free to correct me in the description below, but I don't believe these two vessels have quantum travel as an ability. But again, could be wrong. So this is the Argo MPUV transport. It looks to be some kind of more dedicated, higher level transport vehicle, capable of lifting a variety of items, possibly a vehicle, depending on how you mount it. And its simplistic cargo-style design and lack of any offensive capacity probably would denote itself as probably being like a, I don't know, JCV or something like that. But still, a very useful vehicle, regardless, and essential for any of those building clans. Going over to a vehicle which I have seen a bit more of, which is the Argo MPVU cargo transport. This one is same design, only the fuselage is a dedicated cargo lifting transportation. So this could be something that we could possibly see being utilized when traveling from, say, from planet side to orbital for the larger ships. Again, lacking in any kind of thing, but possibly capable of carrying loads of stuff for transportation. Because maybe it's cheaper to get those vessels out than other stuff. But again, we'll have to see. But either way, I do like these vessels. The aesthetics look nice. They look like an industrial ship, and they feel like an industrial ship. So definitely going to it. So next, a lot more floor space has been dedicated to what is known as the Musashi Industrial and Starflight Concern, or MISC. So MISC is a bit of a variety kind of vessels. They are famous for their racing ships, which I will take a look at, because some of these ships do in fact have weapons. And I've obviously, in CitizenCon, you may recall, a lot of discussions were being made about microtech, which is the new world we're hoping to see in patch 3.8. Hello. I do not know if these vessels have QT. I don't think they do, but I will rent them. I am so going to rent you. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Ooh. Oh, you guys look lovely. I'm definitely gonna rent a couple of you. I'm half tempted just to rent the entire thing and just be like, right, which one feels better? Oh wow. I mean, depending on whether the ships do or do not have stuff, it is looking exceptionally lovely. I'm just gonna rent all three. I don't care. What I might do is, instead of doing the normal procedure that I'm doing with my test vehicles, I think for vehicles that don't have... Well, unfortunately, I've come to this conclusion after testing out certain things. But, yeah. At the moment, also, this looks to be the largest part of the expo that is exposed. And we've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. We will go from right to left. Ooh! Ooh, 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 ooh! I did not know you were MISC! Ow. Ooh. Okay. Yes. We have got some stuff today. This is good. I know nothing about some of the vehicles. I know a lot about the ones to the left. I've seen those a lot, but there are a bunch of vehicles I have not seen before. Well, I have seen, but never been in before. This is going to be good. Right, okay, so let us start with the MISC Reliant Tanner. Now, the MISC Reliant Tanner, to my extremely limited knowledge, so again, well, the MISC Reliant, we'll focus on the Reliant actually as a whole ship. But the concept of the MISC Reliant is that it is basically a sort of dual player starter ship. Some people have spoken to me in the comment section of some of the videos I've made, asking about whether or not this vehicle is a good starter. Now, truth be told, when I saw this vessel, I was initially hesitant because it didn't look like there was going to be much. But, depending on the version you have, this one is the... what is it? The Mako. The Mako seems to be quite a good all-rounder. And my god, it looks really nice in here. The ship has probably not really much for cargo space, but it does have the capacity to... I think this is more the military side of things, or unless you want to do reconnaissance, which again, possible. You've got 2 dedicated seats. Well, there's 3. You've got the pilot and the co-pilot. And the unique thing about the Reliance is that... I'm going to actually take these out for a spin. I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to spend the day... probably trying to... well, I have to go outside and rent this thing. But no, so the Reliance unique sort of side to them is that... the unique side to the Reliant is that these things, when you take off, while the cockpit, cabin, and everything else is stationary and does not move, the actual ship pivots. Like, the wings of the ship pivot, and it then turns into what I call the B-wing. It's got a B-wing-like frame to it. So when you take off, the cockpit doesn't move, but the rest of the ship does, and it looks pretty dope. So there are multiple versions of this ship, which come with a unique sense of weapons. I'm thinking the Reliant Core probably is the more militaristic style of thing, and I definitely feel, yes, that looks exceptionally cool. And depending, of course, on what version you get, you do in fact get, yep, this one has got some cargo space. So it doesn't have a bed, which is a bit of a crux. So if you were to, for example, pilot this vessel with 2 of your ships, if you would pilot this vessel with 2 friends, you're not really going to be able to log out, unfortunately. You'd have to go to a thing. But this does, in fact, have a pretty, roughly about the same size cargo space as, I'd say a little wider than an Avenger Titan. It kinda does. Yeah, like, I'm not saying it's... yeah, I would say it's, like, probably not a clearly larger, but wider. Wider than an Avenger Titan, definitely. But maybe not as tall, who knows. But still, nah, it's pretty dope, I'm not gonna lie. And, I assume when these things... when you put them down or whatever, close the door. Ooh. GG. Textures. Who needs them? So, that's the Reliant Core. Now, for me, I've been intrigued by this ship. I don't think I'd ever get one unless it was on a really low... I don't think I'd ever go crazy. Like, I would definitely get one with in-game money, but not with real money. For me, I would not feel it would justify the real money, but... it definitely looks like an interesting vessel nonetheless. So this one is the Reliant Sen, and judging from its sort of lighter toned colours and lack of a main offensive armament, one could assume it's some kind of reconnaissance vessel or explorer's vessel. Yeah, definitely explorer. Or maybe scientific. No, it's scientific. The scientific ship. So you could say explorer. Scientifically exploring, I think, is probably the way to go with this one. So not much offensive capacity. You could, if you were desperate, put a bit of cargo, like box-wise, into the vessel, but I highly doubt that that would be a good idea considering the kind of conditions you'd put it into. But again, always a possibility. Not much offensive capacity in the wings, but still looking dope regardless. And finally, we have what is known as the Reliant Tanner. This vessel has got some weapons on the side as well as on the main points. So this could be a sort of bog standard grade, though the weapons look fairly menacing. I think the Reliant core probably is the militaristic style of thing, maybe. Because it does have two fairly large guns on the top, whereas this one... Actually, it does have weapons on both sides, so maybe this is the militaristic one. Who knows? The weapons look fairly powerful. I'm afraid I'm not too knowledgeable on Star Citizen weaponry, but as we progress on in our Star Citizen universe, we may find it is more or less militaristic. Right, so... Okay, yeah, this is the military one. Definitely the military one. There's even a small cargo point here. So yes, this is the one that you have for military. So the other one probably was like, what, maybe a PMC or like a self-defense vessel. So slightly better quality. More of a transport. Actually, that's probably the transport variant, and this is the military. So, and this is the Tanner. Right, cool. I probably won't fly all of these things because I probably just won't have time. But I will try and get these things to go in a thing, because I'm definitely curious as to how this ship handles, having never flown one before. But it looks extremely nice. Definitely, I'm gonna agree with on that. So there you go, the Reliant series. An interesting ship, regardless of whether or not you like the aesthetics of it. I would say it's a ship that if you really want to, by all means. I'm gonna have to do a bit of research. I'll probably put it in the editing of how much the Avenger costs. In comparison to the... we'll save the big ones to last. How much an Avenger costs in comparison to a Reliant. But I have a feeling the Reliant is slightly more expensive, if not equal. So again, depending on what you want to have. I still would firmly recommend that the Avenger... I still would state that the Defender... the Aegis Avenger Titan is the best starter ship for anyone entering into Star Citizen. You know, it's not cheap, but it, you know, depending if you have the game package or not, but it is the best ship you can get for a starting fledger. So, going over to the, probably the more famously known part of MISC Industries is, of course, the Freelancer. Now, I don't know, I think I may have mentioned it before or not, but if not, I got one of these! So yes, this is the MISC Freelancer, the bog standard edition, a pretty good vessel. It's often compared to against the Drake Interplanetary Cutlass Black, and I fear that the Cutlass Black is probably going to win, just because unfortunately the Drake the Cutlass is probably a more versatile in parts. But I don't know. It's probably one of a tit for tat. Like the Freelancer has, you know, I think the Freelancer has more versatility as there are more types of Freelancers out there that have their own applicable and already in-game roles. But the the Cutlass Black also has a decent variety of roles, but it's kind of a tit for tat. Anyway, so this is the MISC Freelancer. This is the bog standard edition. I mean, I've got one, so I don't know why I need to get it. I'll go into a. Okay, sure. The game's like, wait, let him in. All right, so because I own this thing, I can actually, and this thing I do have a lot of details on. This is the rare time I can actually say. So this is the bog standard Freelancer edition. You have 4 crew, which have 4 beds, fairly simplified systems. You have access to some food survivals, 2 cargo bays, this one being a small one. This is an airlock door, primarily utilized only in 0G, though hopefully one day maybe the docking ring will allow other people to get in when you can dock with ships in that regard. And you have a fairly long length, thin but long length cargo bay with a turret section in the rear. My only complaint with regards to this particular design of the Freelancer, and arguably what I would have instead, is I'd have the, in my opinion, I would have the air pocket, instead of being here in the center of the ship, I would have it leaning more towards the rear, and I'd have the turret, which could be better placed at the midsection to the front of the ship here. Because, unfortunately, any kind of other vessels, for example, if you wanted to fly a Dragonfly into here, you wanted to fly, Oh, what else? You wanted to fly a smaller craft, maybe a vehicle. This giant fucking turret gimbal system that allows the thing to come down really fucks it up. It makes it virtually impossible for you to get anything that could bop into it. So, while I like the Freelancer, I find it's a very relatively fast, really good maneuverable, and if you're not a big fan of the Cutlass Black's design and prefer something like this vessel will see you out really well. Definitely will agree with you on that. And also, she's armed to boot. You've got a couple of size 2 missiles, supplies 1 missiles on the side. And you've got a quad gimbaled ballistic cannon, energy ballistic cannon, which is capable of knocking out a Cutlass Black within a few shots. So it's a really good system. It's a good ship, and if you are interested in light cargo movement and general transport for your clan or org, I can't recommend a better ship than that. If you're not a fan of the thing. So this is the Freelancer Max. Basically the same ship design and everything else, but instead of having a sort of thin and sort of less than impressive cargo space, you have a ginormous cargo space and a couple of extra engines to boot because you're a big fat fucker. Same unfortunate again, this is where the turret design really, I wish they'd moved this turret to the front of the ship, because you could probably easily fit, if this thing wasn't there, a couple of tumbles, maybe some cyclones, or perhaps even another ship. But unfortunately, because they stuck with the design of the airlock in the center, which is really fucking irritating, I hope that someday in the future, in Star Citizen, you can perhaps move certain things about. So, for example, you could customize your ship so that you could move the docking ring further down the ship towards the cargo bay, and then the turret defends the midsection of the ship. Maybe it's a good idea, maybe it's not. Feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. But no, this is basically the same design, same 4 people inhabiting the ship. And again, this is a really good ship to start with if you are wanting to do cargo movement. The gameplay practice is a little unreliable at the moment due to the whole potential crashing or wiping or whatever. But once persistence and some quality of life, I'll show you how you actually get out on the side. You actually have to open this door, if the door wants to open, and then you have to exit via the ladderway to the side. But no, so basically, if you, once persistence and some quality of life assurances are made, as well as object server-side container streaming, this thing will become invaluable to early cargo transporters working their way up to a caterpillar. Anyway, this is the Freelancer Dur. Not entirely sure why they call it Dur, but I'm sorry, I'm not even going to be able to rely on it and call it in a mature manner. We are going to have to call it the Dur. So the Freelancer Dur is the Explorer variant of the Freelancer series. There is another version which is available over there. Brilliant, so we have the whole lineup, good. And the Freelancer Dur is more dedicated for reconnaissance and long-distance travels. Same design as before, but slightly thinner cargo bay because of all the shit that we have to now contain and fix up. Again, same design, nothing much. Probably more focus on longevity of missions and some other sort of non-valuable. So cargo bays may instead be filled with supplies, because don't forget, guys, fairly soon we will be having survival mechanics in place. Maybe not intensively dangerous, but you'll need to eat, you'll need to drink, you'll need to sleep. So maybe, or maybe not sleep, but maybe certain aspects to survival mechanics to make sure that your character is in fact a living, breathing human. So obviously you've got extended fuel tanks, not as much defenses, only a couple of size, I'm going to say size 1s missiles. And you still get the quad defenses though. This ship has probably not the most powerful cannons, or possibly the most powerful cannons. I'm really terrible at recognizing ship guns at the point. And I promise guys, I will focus on making some turrets. Actually, no, she's actually well defended. Unless that's a rig. No, that's not a gun, is it? No, that's not a gun. I wish it was a gun, because that would be a fucking dope-ass gun. But no, it's not. I mean, the Max does have the same sort of things, but probably not as well defended as these things. And don't worry, guys, if you see this is not a permanent thing. You can quite happily swap the guns out and change them around. There are the abilities for you to purchase, with in-game money, upgrades to the ship, making it much more dangerous. Now, finally, we go on to the militaristic version, the Freelancer MISC. This version, I know it has a slight downgrade in terms of weapons, because while ballistic weapons are nice, they need a certain amount of ammunition, and these are only chain guns, whereas that fucker has got cannon. So, arguably, you probably want to swap the weapons out from this and get the weapons from the Freelancer Standard Edition, but eh. So, this version of the Freelancer has... Oops, someone just... Somebody saw... Somebody tripped and died at the event. Oh, wow. That's brilliant. He had so much of a hard-on, he couldn't contain himself. And so you've got... This particular ship is basically a missile gunboat. Probably not suited for direct combat, but more for spam the ever-loving fuck out of the guys who are engaging your fleet. What we'll try and do is try and get onto the vessel so you can see what I mean. For once, the ladder is appropriate height as well, which is nice. So again, same design as from the front to the rear. You've got 4 sections. The left-hand side is the pilots, the co-pilots. Possibly in the future you'll have the engineer, the driver, you know, whatever, shield engineer. So you've got a nice little heads-up display, simple cargo bay. But now in the rear of the ship, instead of cargo bay, or at least a bigger cargo bay, it knows. It was like, we don't want you to die. Instead of having the cargo bay, which it does have a cargo bay, but it's much smaller, you instead have a fuckload of missiles, which is lovely. So, and of course there is the docking section as well. There is also this. So, it's not really militarily focused. You probably want to put more militarily focused weapons inside, but regardless, it is something to have a look at. And if you are the kind of person who sort of has a wet dream about spamming missiles at someone, then this ship is for you. So, now that we've done the Freelancer series, let's have a look at one more Freelancer type. It's not quite a Freelancer, but it is... it's unique. It's your own... Oh god, I can't even speak. It is its own unique ship. Is it a Freelancer? Am I just making this shit up? Is the game going to just insult me by saying that I don't know? No, it's not. So this you may have seen in previous years as the MISC Prospector. This is the first mining vessel to be seen, dedicated mining vessel to be seen in the verse. She has 4 large pods on the side, which allows us to take a lot of mining material, and also, hang on, let's just quickly get in the vessel. It's only dedicated for a crew of 1. Wow, the ladders are actually properly placed. I know it sounds really stupid, but you'd think... There's loads of times where I've seen this ship and the ladders... That's actually quite clever, I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, this ship is dedicated for a single person to fly in. As you can see, there's loads of little panels and access points, nothing too special. And eventually this game will come to a point where you can open these up and actually manually fix things yourself. Simplistic bed design, nothing too fancy. Little screen at the front, or whatever, maybe a pillow. Maybe you would probably bring a blanket and a pillow because reasons. Some very nice looking... I was going to say low texture towels, but actually they are designed that way, so spooky. You've actually got quite a nice setup over here. There's a shower on the toilet. Fucking hell. Shower on the toilet system. So, it doesn't look like the toilet folds up either. So, you will literally be sitting down, having a shit, and then if there's a malfunction, you will be showering in your own shit. Oh, God, I can imagine. Anyway, the unique selling point of this particular vessel, and I'm not going to say, I will say it is in fact quite hard to top, is the really good view that you get from this vessel. Like, oh my God. Your peripheral vision is absolutely beautiful, and your ground view as well is absolutely gorgeous. Like, I cannot for the life of me... There we go. Oh, I wish I could take off. But no, the ship itself looks absolutely beautiful. And if you've already seen some mining facilities and some other stuff, you'll no doubt know that this particular thing is just phenomenal. I will say the best in-game view, like the best first-person view of a ship I've seen in Star Citizen. And that's saying something. Well, so far. Who knows? Maybe I might find another ship that I'll fall in love with. But no, this Prospector is absolutely gorgeous. And I know a bunch of people who are already... I remember showing my good friend Nimbus this particular vessel, and he's like, "Ooh, the hard-ons." But no, it is very good. And again, anyone who wants to mine this game, it is possible for you to mine it. This vessel is already available in game, and obviously, it's extremely well worth it. Hopefully, we'll get more mining vessels, and you can also work to rent this ship for only 40,000 credits. So there is that as well. So we're now getting to the last part of the video, and these two vehicles are known as, I think it's a Reclaimer? No, Starfarer. This is the thing that I kept saying was a Starfarer, that my Freelancer was a Starfarer because my brain was faulty. So, I'll be honest with you, I don't really know a lot about these particular vehicles. The only thing I can say is that these vehicles are designed to carry fuel cells, which are these giant things in the background. And, I'm not entirely sure what version this is. I'm going to assume that's the military version, because of its colouring and its slightly more up-tiered weapons, but I could be wrong. So let's have a look at the Starfarer. This is a ginormous ship. In fact, this was considered to be the largest ship in the game for quite some time, before we had ships like the 390 Jump, the... hang on, let me just open the door. Hold the door! Hold the door! Hang on, let me just... I don't want to rent it, I want to get in it. Oh, I have to be quick. There we go. So, textures. Who needs them? Oh, there we go. I said the magic T word. So, this is a... Oh, this is actually the first time I've ever been in one, so you will actually see a blind person's reactions to it. Ooh, woo, woo. Oh my god! It's a shame that the entrance to the rear of the vessel is so limited. You could definitely fit a couple of vehicles in here. Ooh, wow! Look at the size of this thing. This is definitely a cargo faring transportation vehicle as much as anything. God, this video is going to be a long one to render. Oh god! Oh, look at this. This is beautiful. So, again, my knowledge on this particular vessel is extremely limited, but what I can tell you at least is that this vehicle is probably more dedicated as an industrial logistics vehicle, such as bringing fuel to other large ships. Maybe it's the ship that you go to when you want to not only get cargo, but also the massive Bengal carrier to be refilled. So it looks fairly unmilitaristic. Bunch of escape pods for people, medical facilities, so maybe a crew of 6 to 12. Oh, wow. This is cool. This is cool. Oh, look, there's the captain's seat. What a majestic motherfucker. Do you fly this way? Yeah, I'm sitting in the captain's seat. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that for a view. That is really awesome. I'm just, like, majestic as fuck. Like Mapache. It's a shame I can't get an internal crew view. Nah, sadly not. Oh well. Make it so, number one. Sorry, I had to do it. I just had to do it. So, what is this? What is this? Sure. Okay. Whatever. Anywho, so this is the bridge to the Starfarer, looking pretty nice. So the escape pods and the crew quarters are probably separate areas, but okay. Oi! Bye-bye. Bye-bye! There we go. So, I would... Oh, wow, there's a third floor. Shit. Okay. Oh, this is going up. So this is probably going into the crew quarters, maybe the Rex, the R&R sections of the ship. Maybe some maintenance levels. Caution. Ah, this is where the engineer would be. Oh, this is really atmospheric. This is awesome. So yeah, if you wanted to fix your ship up in a hurry, or if you just wanted to hide from the alien that was currently hunting in your vessel, because that's always a thing, there you go. I really cannot wait. Oh, there's more escape pods, so you need more than just 6 people. That's actually pretty fucking dope. So yeah, I cannot wait for a machinima. You know what? I really wish machinimas were a thing still, because I reckon having a machinima like this would be having with this game, especially with its FOIP and its, obviously we have to make sure that the systems are working, but imagine like a Serenity or a Firefly like series. Oh, there's obviously a defensive turret. Oh yeah, so this thing is defended. It does have turrets. This thing is not unarmed. I mean, arguably, I made the argument once that this particular vessel should be considered a bomber. Oh, wow, there's no power at all. Right, exits. Fire mode. Power on. Gyro mode. Right, here we go. So, we're on the rear panel of the ship, and we have the ability, if we should so want, to blap people, which is cool. But obviously, we're not going to do that. So, we'll withdraw back into the vessel. Oh, that looks cool. Though, don't do this when you're drunk, because I'm sure that I'll do this in VR, because I'm fairly certain that will probably make your whole brain just go loop-de-whoop. But no, like, this is a really awesome looking ship. And again, this was considered the largest ship in Star Citizen when she was released. And she probably was the largest ship in Star Citizen when she was released. Again, I wager that she could be a really good bomber. Only because, like, not as an actual determined bomber of sorts. Oh, that probably must be the energy generator. Or the power generator, I should say. You must be the engine with your internal sun core temperatures. That look really fucking good. The glass and everything. So this must be the naughty chair, if you're rude. And this must be the naughty corner. Or cargo space, probably. First aid kit. Going, I think it's the same, yeah, it's the same design going into that one. So where would the crew sleep, is my question. Where is the R&R section? I mean, probably it's going to be in here or something like that. Oh no, there is actually more. There's ventilations and everything. God, like, seriously, imagine like a Firefly... Wait, where am I going? I have no idea, but I'm excited. Oh my god, I'm on the 3rd floor. Oh, where does this go? Oh, this is the... Oh, wow. Dude, this game... Every time I see this game, I fucking love it. No way, they've got a cool seat. This is so cool! I mean, there's no chairs, but I can imagine... This must be the captain's room. Yeah, this is definitely the captain's room. Look at the fucking bed he's got. Jesus Christ. He's even got his own shower shitter. Shower shitter! That's what we should call it. The shower shitter. Please, if anyone's watching this from CIG, please call this the shower shitter as like a nickname that in-game players, or like, Christ, if Mark Hamill ever saw this and he called it the shower shitter, my life is complete. My life is complete. Like, if I ever hear him mention the word shower shitter in Squadron 42, that's it. You know, my life is good. We're all good. So, yes, there's the crew quarters. Very, very, very multi, like, no cover or privacy or anything. And, oh, no, there is. There's the female and the male toilets. Oh, you all PC babies would go nuts at this. Anyway. So, yes, there it is. I would say, for the crew, this is pretty dope. Like, it's very clean. It's very nice. Yes, it's industrial, but there you go. I'm assuming there is no lift. You literally have to get a... Oh, no, there is... Oh, there's the maintenance access from that. So what? In order to get to where you want to go, there is no lift, but instead you have to get a ladder up here. I suppose that's sort of safe. Yeah, there's the way we came in. Yeah, that's definitely the captain's quarters. So there would normally be a table, I assume, here. There's the cooking station, as well as whatever. So, yeah, that makes sense. But no, this is really awesome. I like this a lot. This as a ship is fantastic. And again, would love to see a machinima-like series depicting the adventures of the crew. Oh, there is a lift access. Wait, what elevator? Oh, there is an elevator. Good. I am happy to hear that there is, in fact, an elevator system in this. So there you go. Oh, there's even the little living quarters at the bottom. Again, I need to learn how to, like, walk through vessels and ships. But there you go. Yeah, oh, dude, can you just imagine the possibilities? Like, for me personally, whenever I see a ship like this, I can so see a machinima taking place. Where it's a bunch of people just on a single ship. And I would seriously pay, like, to watch the series. you know, even if it's just ones where you have daily life struggles or health. Imagine Friends on Star Citizen. You know, you've got a bunch of people on a fucking Starfarer doing deliveries, making ends go by, and just seeing the events going on, you know, in the in-universe events that eventually change everyone's perception on things. And just the quality of writing that could be going into this is beautiful. And this is just the first version. I mean, obviously we've got the other version to have a look at as well, so this video is going to be long. But I appreciate anyone who's still here watching this stuff. I did not go here, did I? I'm going to assume this is like a lift to the center of... Right, so is this just towards one of the gunner spots? Yes and no. I think this is where you store your EVA suits and also pop out the rear, which I think is a good location to pop out as well. So that's the air access point. I'm going to assume this thing closes eventually. Yes, there you go. So there you go. And of course the vessel is guarded. It does have 2 ginormous cannons on the side. So, you know, this thing may in fact have its own unique selling point after all. But yeah, the reason why I said this thing could be a good bomber is these things are detachable. So imagine dropping that on something. They're dumb bombs, but they're good bombs. And, like, depending on what kind of explosive capacity these particular things have, it might result in something going daka daka boom boom. Alright, so this is the Starfarer Gemini. I honestly don't know the difference, but judging from the tone and color, this feels more militaristic. So maybe it'll be either the specialer... specialer? Yes, English language. Oh yes, this is the thing we didn't actually get... There we go. This is the thing we didn't actually do in the previous one, which is my bad. Oh god, imagine if you fucked up and dropped one of these in space. Or, I actually had a bit of a somewhat serious topic, English language. I seriously had a debate with someone about whether, over the qualities of dropping these things either in Atmo or in a space battle. Like, imagine this thing going into combat. Yes, step. You must jump more than anything. Let me in! No, I want to get in. Door. No, I don't want to rent it. Rough and tumble variant. Some cargo maneuverability exchange for reinforced armor, shielding, making the engine more powerful, stronger missions. Gemini also includes an optional missile pod, which can be swapped for your intake unit on the ship's nose. See below for details. Missiles can be... Okay, so this thing... Oh no! Someone's getting rid of the thing. We're trapped. Ah! Let me on, you fuck! I can't. I'm gonna have to sacrifice myself and jump off this thing. No! Right, anyway. So yeah, it's pretty much the same design as before, just with a missile pod on the front. Ah! Shit. There we go. Right, so... that is it for today. This one's an extra long one, so it's going to take a bit of a while to come into it. Hello, magic man who sinks through the ground. So, where's this missile pod that is available? Oh, look, someone's already on the guns. Lovely. Right, where's this missile pod? Oh, yes, there it is. Oh, ho, 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 ho. You look like a mean motherfucker. I can tell you that for sure. So, yes, there you go. That is it for today. Thank you very, very much for sticking with me up until this point. This particular episode has been a lot of fun to record. I definitely feel the love for this particular day. Definitely going to check out what's available. So, what's the other one then? Is it just a cargo capacity pod, or is it actually like a shield system? Probably a shield system. But you can swap it out. That's awesome. Right, anyway, so... as mentioned, I will take a bunch of vessels that I want to try out. I'm definitely going to want to try out the Reliance. And I also want to try out some of the Razor vessels because they do look cool. They do look like a lot of fun to fly around in. Maybe with the Razors, I'll do some kind of silly little fly-around thing to talk about the maneuverability. Because these vessels are dedicated racers more than fighters. But who knows, maybe they'll be whatever. But still, looks dope as fuck. Anyway, so I hope to see you in the next episode where we look at the following day. And I will see you on the next one. This is Mr. Jaeger signing out. Have a good one, guys.